Good afternoon, everybody. It's 6:34 p.m., April 8, 2023. It's Saturday. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome everybody to the channel and to the newcomers. I hope everybody's doing well. It's quite nice here today. It was very cold overnight. But I want to share a little story with you. But before I do, if you can remember to hit the thumbs up button, it would really help the channel grow and combat the cyber stalkers. But this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I was thinking about Easter, and I completely forgot that it was this weekend. I had to be reminded that it was Good Friday, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's Easter already. And this adorable little painting I purchased on eBay. This is an original mini art, and it is by Lumieu. It's from 2022. And I think it's adorable. It's just so cute. It's so symbolic of what represents Easter. But something that I remembered is, first of all, I love rabbits. I had a bunny rabbit named Dusty when I lived in New Jersey, and it was just the sweetest little rabbit. And he hung out in my daughter's bedroom, and he would not leave her bedroom. He had his cage in there, his toys and everything, and he would jump out and jump all over her bed. And it was almost like we had an electric fence or something at her front door because the rabbit never left her room. It would go to the entrance or exit of her door and just sit there and never leave. But it was the sweetest little rabbit. She would dress him up. It was so cute. But anyway, I'm reminded of the story of the Velveteen rabbit. And if you're as old as I am, you might remember it. It was called the Velveteen Rabbit. And it was quite a long story, but there's a section of it that I remember, and I wanted to read to you guys. I wanted to read, it's about how toys become real. Okay? And we've all discussed, the real homesteaders in the community, the real farmers, the real targeted people, the real perpetrators. But this story is really interesting, and this goes out to all the real people out there. What is real? Asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came in to tidy up the room. Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and stick out handle? Real isn't how you are made, said the skin horse. It is a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real. Does it hurt? Asked the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse, for he was always truthful. When you are real, you don't mind being hurt. Does it happen all at once, like being wound up? He asked. Or bit by bit? It doesn't happen all at once, said the skin horse. You become. It takes a long time. That is why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off and your eyes drop out and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't really matter at all because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. I suppose you are real, said the rabbit. And then he wished he had not said it, for he thought the skin horse might be sensitive. But the skin horse only smiled. The boy's uncle made me real, he said. That was a great many years ago, but once you are real, you cannot become unreal again. It lasts for always. The rabbit laughed and sighed. He thought it would be a long time before this magic, called real, happened to him. He longed to become real, to know what it felt like. And yet the idea of growing shabby and losing his eyes and whiskers was rather sad. He wished that he could become it without all of those uncomfortable things happening to him. So there was a person called Nana who ruled the nursery. Sometimes she took no notice of the playthings lying about, but sometimes for no reason whatsoever, she went swooping about like a great wind and hustled things away in the cupboards. She called this quote unquote tidying up. And the playthings all hated it, especially the tin ones. The rabbit didn't mind it so much, for wherever he was thrown, he came down soft. One evening when the boy was going to bed, he couldn't find his china dog that he always slept with, and Nana was in a hurry. And it was so much trouble to hunt for the china dog at bedtime, so she simply looked about her, and seeing that the toy cupboard door was open, she made a swoop. "Here," she said, "take your old bunny. He'll do to sleep with you." And she dragged the rabbit out by one ear and put him into the boy's arms. That night, and for many nights after, the Velveteen rabbit slept in the boy's bed. At first, he found it rather uncomfortable, for the boy hugged him very tight, and sometimes he rolled over on him, and sometimes he pushed him so far under the pillow that the rabbit could scarcely breathe. And he missed, too, those long moonlight hours in the nursery when all the house was silent, and his talks with the skin horse. But very soon he grew to like it, for the boy used to talk to him and made nice tunnels for him under the bedclothes. And he said that they were like burrows that real rabbits lived in. And they had splendid games together in whispers. And then Nana had gone away to her supper and left the nightlight burning on the mantelpiece. And when the boy dropped off to sleep, the rabbit would snuggle down close under his warm chin and dream, with the boy's hands clasped close around him all night. And so as time went on, the little rabbit was very happy, so happy that he never noticed how his beautiful velveteen fur was getting shabbier and shabbier and his tail becoming unsewn, and all the pink rubbed off his nose where the boy had kissed him. Spring came, and they had long nights in the garden. For wherever the boy went, the rabbit went too. And he had rides in the wheelbarrow, and picnics on the grass, and lovely fairy huts built for him under the raspberry canes behind the flower border. And once, when the boy was called away suddenly to go out to tea, the rabbit was left out on the lawn until long after dusk, and Nana had to come and look for him with a candle because the boy couldn't go to sleep unless he was there. He was all wet, though, with dew, and quite earthy from diving into the burrows what the boy had made for him in the flower bed, and Nana grumbled as she rubbed him off with the corner of her apron. "You must have your old bunny," she said. "Fancy all that fuss for a toy." The boy sat up in bed and stretched out his hands. "Give me my bunny," he said. "You mustn't say that. He isn't a toy. He's real." When the little rabbit heard that, he was so happy, for he knew that what the skin horse had said was true at last. The nursery magic happened to him, and he was a toy no longer. He was real. The boy himself had said it. That night he was almost too happy to sleep, and so much love stirred in his little sawdust heart that it was almost going to burst. And into his boot-button eyes that had long ago lost their polish, there came a look of wisdom and beauty, so that even Nana noticed it the next morning when she picked him up and said, "I declare, if that old bunny hasn't gotten quite a knowing expression." So, folks, I mean, this is quite a very long story, but I wanted to say that it was a wonderful summer for this bunny rabbit. So what is real? Real isn't how you're made. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child or a person loves you for a long time, not just to play with, but really, really loves you, then you become real. Sometimes it hurts, but you don't mind being hurt when you're real. And it doesn't happen all at once. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off and your eyes drop out and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you're real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, wishing everybody a happy Easter to those who celebrate. And if you like bunnies, this one's for you. This is Lorraine signing off for now.